What's happening, guys? Celtic CC here. I'm on Celtic Smash account. I'm going to do a quest board and do another state of things. I think it's part 10. I don't know, something like that. Just got out of the gym. It's currently 2:17 in the morning on the 29th of October. I just got out of the gym, so I'm still a bit high on pre-train booster. I'm having a protein shake. I'm going to smoke a rollie while I do this. Those are the three motherfucker things. Treats I'm not giving up yet. And I'm not a rich man, don't get me wrong. You know, my funds are going to run out, but fuck it. I'm not giving up on those things yet. Right, okay, so apologies to American viewers, right? I know some Americans are getting pissed off with me getting involved with like the politics side of things. But the way I look at it, when it comes to environmental issues, it affects the whole globe. So America being one of the, the big motherfucker countries on the planet with regards to pollution, up there with China, I feel like I, have a right to fucking put my piece in. And, the way I see it, Trump's been a total fucking disaster. And I'm going to make my final push before the election and say why. Right, so they're going on the environmental news that Trump is making a final push against climate science. He's imposing new limits on national oceanic and atmospheric admin, which would undercut action against global warming. Why the fuck he's doing this, I don't know. Honestly, the amount of anti-environmental news that comes out about Trump and the Republicans, it just pisses me off, like, do you know what I mean? Right. Sorry, just lighting up a rollie. I'll probably take a while doing this, right? I've got quite a lot to talk about, so, I'm not going to bomb through it like last video. I'm going to be a bit slower, right? The other thing he's doing, right, he's trying to stop protection from the Tongass National Forest, right? And this is one of the biggest intact temperate forests, right? Honestly, the stuff he's been doing since his administration and everything, well, since he's become president, he's getting, trying to fuck up like indigenous people and they're fighting him. He wants to drill in Alaska, all this shit. He's been a fucking nightmare. He doesn't even realise fracking's a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? He built a wall and it got blown down by a fucking hurricane. Have a think about the wall. He didn't think what it'd do to land animals. Got blown down by a fucking hurricane. Judgment from the Creator. Fucking Passion of the Christ. The fucking cross got struck by lightning. Judgment's very, very environmental. The people are missing these sides and everything, right? And then he's going on about this fucking... He's going to plant a trillion trees, really? We're going to fall for that bullshit? A trillion trees? Is anyone buying that bollocks? What's that? Like that's 1,000 billion trees. What, he's going to plant 1,000 billion trees during his 4 years? You better fucking add if he wins. Oh, he's in deep shit, like. Do you know what I mean? With the Creator. If that's why he set his stall at, he better fucking plant 1 trillion trees. I'd like to see him do it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just all the bullshit and manipulative crap that comes from him. It does my fucking head in. Like he was saying, like he didn't want to save the sharks. Couldn't be asked to save the sharks. Fucking coronavirus vaccine is fucking killing 500,000 sharks. Sharks are in trouble, like. Do you know what I mean? They're an important part of, like, the sea ecosystem. They're getting endangered. It's fucking bad, like. Do you know what I mean? His lack of, sort of, empathy towards the planet and environmental, issues is shocking. And he calls himself a fucking Christian. Honestly, throughout my life, I got so pissed off with Christians and their bullshit. Or, going on about there's no fucking environmental problems and, no climate change and shit like that. And fucking, we got to wait for Jesus to come back. There's no guarantee Jesus is going to come back. The fucking Bible and most religions teach you to be environmental. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I gotta say, like, one of the worst human beings I ever met in my life was a guy I used to work with. He was this big fat South African called Muslim Satanic when, Christians are supposed to be cool with Muslims, right? Used to fucking grass on people and snitch on people. I had a big kick off with him because of it. Do you know what I mean? And he was just completely denying climate change and environmental issues. He didn't have a fucking clue. Just one of these idiot ones who calls himself a Christian, probably thinks he's got a free pass to heaven. Fucking no chance. You better sort his shit out. But, I'm not in touch with him anymore anyway. Fuck him. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't stand the cunt. Yeah, right. Okay, so this is the rest of it. Right, so the US has approved 2.37 billion arms sales. And China are pissed off with it, okay? Right, so, there's a lot of sort of anti-China alliances going on. China aren't happy. There's a lot of tension going over there. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's like, it's up to the fucking, Americans and all the countries around there to, deal with it, but it's like, I can see it, like China, fucking vague dictatorship. I don't like their style myself. It's a dodgy road, you know what I mean? Because we're dealing with like potential nuclear warfare now. It's very sort of like pre-World War II-ish, and that's the difference. Like we got the danger of fucking, I'm not getting any gold. Got the danger of nukes this time. Do you know what I mean? Right? Okay. Right. So we got the Spain protest. Right, and this I know I went on about the protests in Spain before, but there was a lot of fire being put on the streets, and I noticed they were burning the big plastic bins, like big fucking, garbage bins, or rubbish bins we call them in the UK. Do you know what I mean? Right, and that side of it I really didn't like. It's pissing me off with these protesters. It's like, why have they got to set fucking plastic bins on fire? Do you know what I mean? It's so frustrating being someone who was trying to fight hard for the environment, and I know the system's collapsing and everything, and then so they go protesting, see people burning flags. It's like, why don't they just fucking cut them up with a pair of scissors? Why have they got burn flags and shit like that? Do you know what I mean? It just drives you nuts. Like, do you know what I mean? Italy imposing curfews. They had more sort of like shops being smashed. There was a couple of street fires, but nice to see they were fucking setting big fucking bins on fire. That's good, right? I know we went on about the abortion protests in in Poland before, but they've actually infiltrated the parliament in Poland this time, and they were holding up signs saying, what was it? This is war. So that was quite an interesting one that happened. So Poland is really starting to rebel against their government. Do you know what I mean? Right, what else? Okay, right, so the France thing has backfired big time on Macron and France, right? Big time. You can see this one coming. Obviously, the Charlie Hebdo thing, freedom of speech. They decided to allow the Charlie Hebdo magazine to be publishing, fucking cartoons taking the piss out of Mohammed. That brings the freedom of extremism to the country. What's going on here? Is that a word? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on the game as well. That brings the freedom of. So I'm trying to. It's hard doing this and smoking. I won't smoke next time, probably, right? Right. So the fucking freedom of extremism. Do you know what I mean? That's the way freedom works. Do you know what I mean? So it's like France have done all this sort of anti-Muslim thing, trying to rally their country, and basically the whole fucking Arab world has started to boycott French products now, and suddenly Macron and France are fucking panicking and saying, please don't boycott. French products. You made your bed, you lie in it. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to allow a fucking magazine like Charlie Hebdo and then, a teacher, don't get me wrong, it's like, not that I don't feel like he needed to be beheaded. Personally, just a good fucking kicking would have sufficed, in my opinion. But that's the way the world works. Like, other people don't fucking see it that way. I've even seen the fucking picture of the guy's head. Do you know what I mean? It's not a pretty sight. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and the fucking teachers told that guy, don't fucking show the pictures in school. He showed it to a couple of Muslim kids in the Charlie Hebdo stuff. So they've allowed Hebdo to do all this, and now French are getting hit fucking economically and having bomb scares in fucking Eiffel Tower, and have had a teacher fucking beheaded. This is what happens when you fucking, think you can have freedom of speech and take the piss out of religion, out of a fucking, a religion like Islam. I tell you what, that shit wouldn't fly in Britain. No way. You got a lot of Muslims in this country. No way they'd allow a fucking newspaper to be taking the piss out of fucking Muhammad and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? France need to sort their shit out, because now they're in the fucking shit with regards to it's fucking up their economy, and they got the fucking whole Arab world against them. I've seen protests of them showing like pictures of Macron dressed, cartooned up as a devil and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Right? Okay, so what is it? China released a film after 40 years, Pakistani film. Showing a military action movie. So China is trying to buff up support from Pakistan and everything and all that. Whatever, that's fine enough. Whatever they want to do. Okay. Right, something I spotted with Australia. Right, I did like this from Australia. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Australia has dealt with a lot of forest fires. And you've seen a lot of koala bears killed and stuff like that. And people trying to save the koalas, and then they've actually decided to destroy a koala habitat to make room, I don't know, it was for like a quarry or some shit like that. And they've actually gone and killed, or whatever you want to look at it, killed or destroyed, a fucking Aboriginal sacred tree that's been around for a long time. So this tree that's very sacred to Aboriginal people, do you know what I mean? They've gone and fucking just destroyed it. So what the fuck are Australia doing, like? Do you know what I mean? I thought they were trying to sort their shit out. The world's gone mental, like. Do you know what I mean? And on the flip side, they've opened bars and restaurants after 112-day lockdown. People are all happy about that, but many of them know that they're fucking doing that to the koala bears and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know what's going on with the fucking world. Like USA, you've had Philadelphia protests, Brooklyn protests. There was another black man killed, and that's kicked things off again. So USA's gone back to more protesting places, right? They got a problem with the Arctic. So the sleeping giant Arctic has got methane deposits. This is bad because methane as a greenhouse gas is very insulating. It's worse than fucking carbon dioxide, basically. So it's not good having more methane into the area. There is actually a fucking hole in Russia, like a pit, that's been on fire since like the 60s or some shit, 70s or 60s or something like that, burning methane. Do you know what I mean? So it's been on fire for like, years and years and years just to stop the methane from coming out into the atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so like, methane is something to take note of. Do you know what I mean? If you don't know about that already, right? What else we got? Afghanistan, roadside bomb kills 3 in Kabul. Okay, that's Afghanistan for you. They usually get a lot of shit like that. No, I can't be asked for the game now. I'll do Lost Battlefield, I'll do. Right. Chile, they're protesting. The water cannons are being used. This whole Chile are kicking off now. I want to give a shout out to a YouTube channel I'm subscribed to. It's really good, right? And I mean, it's got a lot of subscribers, but the view count's gone down. It's a shame. And it's done by this Indian woman. She's got a lovely voice. She does really good environmental stuff. She recently did a really good one about the problems with GDP and the perception of GDP being a good thing when it's actually destructive to nature. So it's called Nature Connection. I recommend it. Go subscribe to it. Watch her videos. I posted the video on my community page on Lunatech CC. So if if you pop into Lunatech, check my community page. I put a lot of good stuff there. I put like a Russell Means one, a couple of other funny things and stuff. I put music on there and shit like that as well. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, so I see the video where the Jordan, they were removing all the French products from shelves, like all that L'Oreal stuff and everything like that. So it's definitely being implemented, the whole sort of anti-French thing is being implemented, right? What else we got, right? So, okay, so COVID, the neurological, I said this before in the previous video, it causes problem after effects, right? There's a bit more detail on it. So the neurological problems that could come are quite alarming. Apparently it can age your brain by 10 years. This is if you recover from COVID, right? It increases the chance of strokes, delirium, anxiety, confusion, depression, stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you get COVID, you're not completely out of the blue. There's also a chance it could damage other organs. So, that, it's like, take COVID seriously, really. Do you know what I mean? It's like, keep your body healthy and everything. If you get it, I would say if you know anyone who's had it and recovered, tell them to get on a good, research the Brahmin diet, which is good with Hinduism. Maybe just try and reduce your meat and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? It's also showing impact on brain performance with Alzheimer's. Okay. Right, what else have we got? Okay, so they reckon, right, this was a good bit of news for USA, right? Because obviously Biden's trying to push for the environmental, and scientists have said that USA can reach, by 2030, they reckon it's physically and economically possible to all electric needs with solar, wind, and batteries, and that's by 2030. Do you know what I mean? Whether they got time to, make the switch without the whole fucking world going to World War III or some shit, we'll have to wait and see. But at least that's some positive news. Do you know what I mean? Okay, this one happened about 6 days ago. So Typhoon Malav hits Vietnam. So far, it's like 26 fishermen reported, catastrophic flooding, 105 killed so far, affected 5 million people. So Vietnam's having a problem with typhoons at the moment. And last but not least, right, just to sort of hammer home to people, it's like, don't think of me as anti-American. I'm actually trying to fucking, show that America needs to change because they're not pushing the right way. So the globe and the whole northern hemisphere needs to change. Do you know what I mean? They need to get environmental. So the whole global northern hemisphere is responsible for the 92% of excess emissions, right? USA accounts for 40% of that. The European Union accounts for 29%, right? So, from sort of fucking emission stats, excess emission stats, USA is behind Europe. Okay, so just to put that into perspective, I don't know if Britain comes into the fucking thing because we're not part of the European Union anymore. But obviously, we're gonna have excess emissions as well. But we are a bit more sort of environmentally aware in the UK. Definitely, obviously, being an island, we need to be. Do you know what I mean? Right. So I think that's everything, guys. Right. So this whole sort of state of things thing is finding it a bit draining, doing all this work and then not getting many views for it and stuff like that. So I'm probably gonna have a chill for a couple of days. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this. You know what I mean? But it's like I think I've done my skating. I've said my piece. Get your Mother Earth discipline, your creative perception ready. Get fit, get environmental, watch your pollution. The world's going to shit. It's simple as that. Like, there's not much more to say about it. Okay, I might do another one in the future, but I'm just gonna chill for a little bit now with the scouting and everything, the research. I think I've put in enough work for it for now. I'm not making a penny off it as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, oh fuck it, a little bit. Okay, and cheers, guys.